Hi, it's Kevin Lobate, CEO of Chainfrog here, and I spent the weekend tweaking parameters for a permission blockchain that I've been working on over the last week, and that made me think that a good post for today might be the question of governance in blockchain. I've seen a few articles appear in my LinkedIn feed about it. It's something that I've had to deal with for the last year or so, but I think it's not as complicated a concept to understand as some people think, although it is something that is very hard to do properly if you're actually designing a blockchain infrastructure. So in short, governance is setting up the system in such a way that all the participants work together to create a consensus, and that the system isn't biased towards one entity rather than another. So it's a bit like, for example, the United States government system, where you have checks and balances. And a well-designed blockchain system will balance everything out so that you don't have a particular party, say the group of developers who are writing the code that supports the blockchain, or the users, or in the case of proof of work system, the miners, so that none of those actually end up dominating the system. And that's basically, in a nutshell, what governance is about. It's about getting a balance so that the system continues to grow and thrive, and either everybody's happy, or at worst, everybody's equally unhappy. So in blockchain, you have one problem that you don't have so much in society, which is that a lot of the decisions you make early on become very, very hard to change. And this is the thing that I had in mind when I was working on these parameters. There's simple things like how quickly a block's going to be created, how much currency is going to be awarded to block miners, for example. But you have sort of further issues there as well about how are we going to update code? What kind of agreement do we need? Is it going to be a basically totalitarian dictatorship where the head of the development group makes all the decisions? Or are you actually going to let users make some of those decisions too? And how do you deal with the fact that there's a possibility later on that you have a lot of users who are not particularly clued up and are going to be making decisions on the basis of propaganda or PR, rather than what is actually a good long-term technical decision to make? We've seen these kind of things going on in the blockchain world in, for example, Bitcoin forking into Bitcoin Cash. We've seen it in Ethereum, where the rollback after the DAO hack meant that about 20% of Ethereum miners went off and stuck with something called Ethereum Classic. It's a very complicated topic to actually get right. So there you go. That's a quick overview of what blockchain governance is, and hopefully you've learned a bit from that. And there are plenty of articles on the web trying to draw in strands and explain the more sort of intricate details of how this all works. I hope this has been a good introduction, and hope to see you in future videos. Goodbye.